This company is shaking up the footwear industry. It's valued over $1 billion, and it created its own category by listening to its customers. Let's dive into Allbirds. Let's go. What's up, everyone? Sean Azari here. I'm with Matt Skopak.
What's up, everyone?
Welcome to Deep Dive into Businesses, episode 18, where we take businesses like Allbirds and dive into their business and marketing strategies such that you can implement these ideas and start scaling your business. Allbirds, I love this company. I'm actually wearing their sneakers right now. Allbirds, I actually found them through a social media ad, and I purchased their product about 2 months ago. They were founded in 2016 by Tim Brown, a former professional soccer player from New Zealand, correct? Right?
Correct.
In 2016, he wanted to create a more minimalistic type of sneaker that was very comfortable, and this was very important to him. It had to be very comfortable, and all these sneakers right now, when he started, was just, they had so much designs. There was so much
Branded, they had the brand. All of them had their icon on them.
And he wanted something simple and something comfortable. But when you were thinking something comfortable back then, it was something like your dad or grandpa would wear, some ugly sneaker. So you wanted to make that
or something
really more
super
chic.
Expensive, some designer things like that.
And he did, and he made it using sustainable materials and like wool. That was one of the products. His first product he made was with wool.
With wool, and then they moved into like cane sugar, trees, and I think there's maybe one other.
Yep.
But
anything else I'm missing? Any more context that I should add before we get into some of the points?
No, I think so far that's a very good overview.
All right, awesome.
So I guess we're number one. Focus on DTC before moving to retail. So let's start off first. A DTC is direct to consumer. And what that is really some type of online business. And basically you're selling your product or your service directly to the consumer without any intermediary between you. A good example is, we'll talk about Allbird. So they had an e-commerce site. They started with Shopify Plus, and they had their website, and they sold directly to their consumers through mostly a lot of word of mouth. Because they became very popular. They launched on Time Magazine. They got the front page, I believe, when they launched. And then a lot of celebrities and like Silicon Valley CEOs were wearing their sneakers. So they got a lot of publicity towards that.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to point out here, I've worked with a brand, actually I'll mention this brand, it's called Kat Berkey, a skincare line. They have an e-commerce website, but their main focus is not e-commerce. Their main focus is selling or having retailers like Nordstrom or Bloomingdale's sell their products. So that was, and I worked with them, and I always found that to be a bad strategy. I couldn't, there was not much of me to say there. The CEO she had her opinion, and that's, and now obviously it's going through a hard time because we're in COVID, and none of these stores are open.
Now all these retail brands are now
pivoting. A lot of people, brands, they think they need to get into retail stores right away. Focus on really strengthening your DTC strategy, your e-commerce store. With that, and what Allbirds is doing, they're able to control their costs, including Kat Berkey couldn't even discount, like provide huge discounts or like Black Friday deals and so forth.
I guess let's back up a little bit. So why are we saying DTC is better than retail? So I think that for a couple of points I would like to, and you want to be able to control your supply chain, especially, and control your sales. You don't have anyone else. But when you deal with these big retailers, they take a very, very healthy margin from what you're making. So say if you're selling your product to a customer, you're getting 100% of the revenue. If a retailer comes in, they're only going to be paying you, depending on the size of their order, maybe between 50 to 30% of the revenue that you would take in. So they take a very, very large amount of what your profit is. And not only that, they also have like very, very strict terms in terms of if they don't sell your product, and you have to take it back.
Not only that, you can't go cheaper for what they're selling.
Another thing, you cannot go cheaper on your website. You can't run any sales or anything like that, or go cheaper than what they have it in their store as. So you're very restricted by many things. I mean, I know a lot of us think getting into retail right away, large orders, is a great for brands, but it definitely will put stress, especially if you don't have a lot of cash flow coming in. As well, because you don't get paid depending on what the net is, maybe 30, 60, or 90 days down the road. Depending on the term of the contract. But so in my opinion, and from what we've seen, having a DTC model first before moving into retail it is a better method.
And when you say retail, don't just think stores. Think B2B.
Yeah,
For instance,
B2B.
there's brands that think, they want to sell an overstock, Target,
Exactly.
Walmart, and so forth, and that's their strategy. But the thing is, yes, that's a great strategy, and you're gonna get a lot of you could get a lot of sales that way. There's two routes of going about it. But to really control your costs, especially if you're really trying to make a sustainable, really great product. It's not like something you're outsourcing and so forth. So
And
this
if
is
you
something
develop a brand too, you'll have much more leverage and negotiation power when you then negotiate with the retailers. So maybe they won't be able to drive down what they pay, the margin so low. So I know like Kylie Jenner, when they brought her into retail, she was able to negotiate because she had such a large online presence, and obviously her name. But that's just a reason why it's a smarter move probably just to build the DTC just before you go into retail.
All right, awesome. Number 2, add your unique selling points in your messaging. When you look at Allbird's Facebook ads, for instance, and also their Google ads, you'll see their key messaging points like free shipping plus free returns, not a 15% restocking fee if you're planning on returning a product. Also, some of their key messaging is what the product is made of, either the wool or the tree. I can't pronounce, but it's eucalyptus. You know what I'm talking about? It's called eucalyptus tree. It's made of.
We butchered that.
So, yeah, it's so bad.
Isn't it a eucalyptus?
We get the point.
You guys can help with our pronunciation skills. Just maybe put the words with the dash and things
the right
like that.
Sustainable materials and so forth. So your unique selling points, identify them and keep pointing them out. That's your unique selling point. That's gonna help sell your product. This is what differentiates your product from everyone else. Yeah. So you want to point that at in either your description when you're running Facebook ads, in your headline, or in actually the images or video itself. Sometimes you could do it as long as it goes along.
They do images very well. Like I remember I saw one ad where I think it was a young gentleman sitting on the couch with his shoes, and the couch is made out of like green shrubbery. So they impose that basically all natural, the outdoor look, the sustainability into like the ad, kind of combine it. It's really cool.
Especially because this is what millennials in today's market, we're all talking about, sustainability, natural products, the brands like the Nike out there, the Adidas out there, they're using a lot of synthetic materials and also leather and all that.
This brand was built on sustainability. How they first did the R&D, they got a $200,000 grant from the New Zealand wool, industry, because the market was declining at a rapid pace. So they wanted to find new products that could maybe prop up the wool market. And this is how Allbirds was launched. It got the $200,000 grant, did R&D, and now that wool market in Allbirds is a $1.5 billion company.
And something I want to point out, it's not going to be one of the points as I could include in this, is they created a new category. Just like when we discussed, what was it? The other brands. It was our previous brand. They have multiple. Was it Warby Parker? They created a new category. So they created a new category, which is
Yeti, maybe?
Could have been. One of the brands. A lot of these brands they create, so they like sneakers always existed, right? Yep. The ones made with wool have a minimalistic look, a clean look, that is chic, affordable. All that is building a new category that people wanted to wear. They didn't have it. It wasn't out.
Yep. Another key component is they removed the most expensive item from the sneaker. Conventionally, I guess it's called the underlayer of it. So basically, they have a wool which wrapped us. So they have a wool on the top, and then that new foam underneath. So it's a lot less to build and to put together and manufacture those shoes. So that was another great selling point for them when they were building the company, because it is very hard to build a shoe company. What we call that has high barriers to entry, meaning that it takes either a lot of money or it takes a lot of power to enter that industry.
But they disrupted it.
Yeah, they did. So number 3, launch one product solely by itself. And this is something that we've seen a couple times now, where a lot of these companies that are launching right now are just launching with just maybe 1 or 2 products. So Warby Parker was an example of that. It was just 2 to 3 maybe glass like styles and whatnot. And then
was it?
I think so. It wasn't that many. It was very minimal SKUs. And then Yeti did the same thing, and now Allbirds. They just launched with, I think, one or two. I think it was one sneaker, and they perfected that model. And
It was made of wool.
made out of wool. They perfected it. And you ask why? Why does that matter?
And by the way, their investors were like telling them, no, you need to expand. But they had a couple pillars, non-negotiable pillars, that Tim Brown likes to call it, that they would always go back to and stick by no matter what. Even when the investors are saying, you got to expand, you got to do this, they would stick to their, sustainable materials. They had to do that, and
That's
stick
how
with
you
that
create a
minimalist.
brand.
And they have to be the most comfortable. They want to be, the sneaker needs to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So basically, they launched with one or two sneakers, and basically what that allowed them to do is it allowed them probably to purchase large purchase orders for materials, which they would get discounts on, and then it made it cheaper for the supply chain in producing these sneakers, which is very important for a company, especially in the sneaker industry, because most of the cost when creating a shoe brand comes when you're launching the company in manufacturing the sneakers.
Matt, why don't you talk about that example you just told me? Also, I think it'd be a great
the
insight with Shark Tank.
The Damien John. So I was listening to an awesome podcast with him, and he really talked about when he was launching his t-shirt company as a kid. He basically bought like 100 t-shirts from the store and then sold them individually on the street. And he was talking about his first time around he did this. He's like, okay, I'm going to buy 4 different sizes. I'll buy 10 of each, and then I'm going to buy 4 different colors, black, white, we'll say, and then we'll say tan and red or whatever. And what he basically noticed is that he sold out of the black and white colors very quickly, and he sold out of, because the crowd he was around, an adult crowd, he sold out of all the large and extra large very quickly as well. And the rest of his inventory he was just left with. So the next purchase he made, he's like, well, I know that I should probably buy now 80% black or 70% black, 20% white, and then 10% of the colors. And then the sizes for the most part should be just large or extra large. So that is something that you should learn as a brand and as a company. When you're first launching, be strategic about what you're doing and understand and make modifications. So don't order every single size and every single color. It's not needed.
Don't manufacture.
Yeah, no, don't manufacture it. Just start with maybe the basis company. This really should
Stick
come
by
from
your core
industry,
values.
your industry research that you do, and stick to your core values of, hey, I just want to start with black and white with a comfortable shoe.
But now they expanded to multiple products.
Now they
have
do.
different
But
colors.
it's easier
and so forth.
once they have now a huge brand. They have a lot of followers. They have probably a huge supply chain infrastructure. When you're starting a company, you don't have access to these things. And every dollar matters, like we always talk about. So be strategic when you start off and think about launching with only one product or just a number of SKUs. Do not overdo it. Believe me, it becomes a headache when you have so many SKUs.
Agreed. Number 4, product videos, product videos, product videos. They drive conversions, especially when you're talking about apparel, even the home decor industry. When you go to Allbird's website, when you go to the product page, each product has a video very similar to Gymshark. Actually, it's a very similar layout. I was comparing the two, where when you're at the product page, you see a beautiful beautiful imagery, right? That stand out really large. As you scroll down, you'll see a product video where you see just like the foot portion is very zoomed in on by the foot. If it's a running shoe, you'll see the guy or girl running in place, and then you'll see them tiptoeing and so forth. If it's a boat shoe, you'll see a different type of movement and so forth, because you want the customer, when people are buying online, D2C, right? People are buying online. They want to, people get nervous when you're buying online, especially when it's sneakers. You want to say, like, how is this going to feel? Is this going to fit me?
This is why, guys, full refund,
yep,
full
that's
just
on
like
top of that. But
Casper,
to decrease that, the refunds and that still costs money for Allbird.
Exactly.
To decrease that, you need these product videos so you get the customer to really feel satisfied. Like, this is the shoe I want. It looks comfortable. It's amazing. So, and again, and then with the Gymshark comparison, Gymshark with apparel, you'll see a model wearing it, but not only just wearing it and just like doing poses. They're feeling it out. They're like running in place or like moving around, so you could see how it feels overall to the model.
Yep.
So the consumer could identify that feeling. Yep. Very important. I'll compare it to the rug industry as well, because I have a lot of clients who that. They do the same with rugs. They have like every rug, every SKU for the rug has a video so you can see the feel, like that, the plush on the rug, and so forth. So people want to see that feel they before they buy online.
Yeah.
So product videos, again, try to do them. I don't have that many for Reborn just because I have a lot of mock-up styled images.
Yeah.
I want to, and I'm eventually going to incorporate more and more videos. But if you can, especially if you're manufacturing the product, make those videos.
Yeah. So number 5, create multiple IG accounts for individual international markets. So Allbirds started in the US, but it looks like if you go to their website now, it looks like they are trying to grow into China, it looks like. And then other international markets. So when you
Japan,
see them,
I believe,
Japan
too.
as well. When you search them on Instagram, you'll see that they have multiple IG handles for each area or each country that they're in.
Yeah, so
And
go on
that's the
Instagram right
reason-
now, just type in Allbirds. You'll see
and you'll see
Allbirds
them
Japan,
pop
Allbirds
up,
something,
yeah.
different
why?
regions.
So why would you do that? So when you brand, obviously, when you have different countries, different cultures, different colors, there are different things that matters to them. So you need to brand that product to the culture that you're in.
The customers, customer segmentation.
Yeah, the customers have different tastes. Some colors in other countries do not sell as well as the U.S. and things like that, or styles, textures.
But also
products.
the language you're speaking,
Exactly.
like the caption is very
Just
important.
everything.
You don't
Everything's
want,
different.
especially, so I know on Instagram there's you could actually do C translation.
Yes.
That doesn't really actually sometimes translate to.
Of course,
they
it's just a
actually
general
yeah.
translation.
So you want to speak that culture's language. Like you want to. You don't want them to like try to go on a dictionary or something and translate it. So segmenting by creating multiple IG handles is very important, especially when IG, as of 2020, still is a very prominent platform for shopping and just viewing products and brand awareness.
And you have to understand, guys, going international like this, it sounds like such a great idea and something maybe easy to do. Oh, we'll just get our product there. It is very hard because now you're moving to other countries. They went to China, Japan. I'm going to bet that they're probably not very well known over there. So now when you advertise and spend on advertising, you're going to have to spend a lot of money in a country where your product is not known to gain traction there. So that's one thing. Your supply chain is going to be definitely different. I know trying to get products from China or Japan or Indonesia over there is a hassle. You can take it by boat, which takes 8 to 10 weeks. Airfare costs about quadruple the amount from a boat, but it still takes a week or two in going through customs. So when you go international, and this is the same within the US, when you go across the US, you have to understand that you also need to then spend more marketing and advertising money to expand and reach people across the country. So
It's actually a lot cheaper to advertise to international markets.
Yes.
It's a lot cheaper.
I'm saying just the exposure though, because now you have to reach a lot more people than you currently do. But international markets, make sure that it is very smart to have different IG handles that will directly align with the customers from that country.
And you could do it also. I mean, remember we talked about Gymshark? They did it too. They did Gymshark, I think, women or Gymshark fitness or something. Like you just saw like exercise videos in one IG handle. You'll see Gymshark. I think it was women. They segmented based on gender and so forth. You could do it on again based on the products that fit whatever gender or perhaps the different styles of products that you could segment. Segmentation is always good if you could do it. Definitely incorporate that to your
It definitely
strategy.
takes a large team of people though to do when you start doing that.
Of course.
So that's one thing to be aware of.
All right, number 6.
Number 6.
Number 6, have the ability to have your consumers add to cart quickly and also to have a one-click upsell option. So when you go to Allbird's website, you could actually, for some of the products, you could quickly add, instead of going to the product page itself, you could quickly add the product to your cart, which gets them right to checkout, because that's the ultimate goal, right? You want to get them to buy. You don't want to go through multiple steps. You decrease the amount of steps, you're likely to increase your sales as well. And then when you're adding something to the cart, they upsell you really quickly. You'll see right in the bottom, socks, which I think they
Love that. We
incorporate.
talk about that all the time.
And I think it's like $16, and they probably make it for like $1 less, right?
a lot
So
less.
that's increasing your average order value right there, which is a perfect product for them. And I think it's made with also.
So this
obviously-
comes into this is called site optimization. So how can you optimize your site to basically convert a customer as soon as they come on, convert them to the cart, and then convert them to make a purchase? So there's a whole world here. You can spend thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars to hire teams and whatnot to do this, but like me and Sean always proclaim and tell you guys, learn from the best. Go to these sites like Allbirds, go to Warby Parker, and see what they're doing on their site. And then you can literally backtrack through, I know there's programs that will tell you exactly the software that they use to do what they're doing. So there's no need.
So Google like what's this site using or something. You'll find what
there's marketing reports, there's
plugins.
tech and software reports. So that's definitely backwards engineer always. You don't need to spend tens of thousands of dollars to find a team to do this for you.
Agreed. And also, I forgot to bring up, I did mention the quick add to cart option. If you're using Shopify, you can find third-party apps, your Shopify apps.
Yep.
Just type in I believe it's in the conversion section, and you could just type in add to cart. You'll see a couple different apps that you could use. Sometimes, especially if your site is customized, you may need to hire a developer from Upwork at a very low cost or affordable cost to see if they could customize it for you as well. There's different routes of going about it. You could also build your own app if you wanted to. And if you're building it on WordPress, there's definitely plugins as well. So just search, again, add to cart and this stuff, and you just research what's going to be good for your store. So I think that's...
Generally, the whole company, their whole site, their products, and it's minimal options so the buyer doesn't get overwhelmed, and it's simple to add to cart, and their website's perfectly designed. So I think one of the best websites and
definitely study the website. I mean, there's a lot of other points that we left out just to shorten it, but study the website. Great. They have a great main site with videos, jiffies, and so forth. So
awesome.
Study it, see how you can incorporate your store, and start implementing these, guys.
Go, guys, let's go. It's time to make moves.
That's the end of this episode. I hope you liked it. I hope these insights, these tips help you scale your business and so forth. If you have any questions, or if you liked this episode, hit the thumbs up button if you're watching this on YouTube. If you are listening to this on an audio, give us a review, please. Share this with your friends, especially entrepreneurs that are starting a business or are in the middle of a business but want to scale further. This stuff will definitely help.
We get no benefit from this, guys. We do this for you. We try to just provide the information that we learned the hard way from all our years of experience. So we're here to help. So give us a like and let us know if you have any questions.
Tweet at mscopac, or you can tweet me at Sean_Azari. And then we will see you next week. Ciao.
Ciao.